I will tell you a short story. Yesterday night, I had a really interesting conversation with our upcoming keynote speaker. And yet again, I got to believe that things can and must be done, and that thinking forward is a must for this industry. We at ABSL are trying to promote various locations for doing businesses from Bosnia and Herzegovina. One of them is, of course, Banja Luka, and waiting for us to address us on the changes on the playground in Banja Luka are JS Guru, our strategic partners, and Srđan Sukara, the CMO and co-founder of JS Guru. I don't know if we have the connection. Srđan, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. If you can guys hear me, that's great.
Thank you, Srđan. Welcome, JS Guru, and you personally to our annual conference. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. Likewise, it's good to be here. Obviously, true pleasure. I would like to say hello to everybody, especially to Vlad and Andrew in the audience, my colleagues, and shame on you guys for not bringing me to Sarajevo. Joking aside.
We'll correct these things for the upcoming conference, I'm really sure, and we're looking forward to see you all here, or even to come to Banja Luka. Why not? We spoke about that last night.
Of course, and I'm joking because as you mentioned, ABSL is much more than being concentrated on one city, so that's why we are joining from Banja Luka, and it's my pleasure.
Thank you. The pleasure is ours. So please, I won't take any much more of your time. I know your keynote is super interesting. Tell us about the playground and the changes, because you are the true players in our industry. The floor and the screens are yours.
Okay, thank you, Adi. Can you just can we just see if my presentation is going live? Or
now we can see your picture, but no presentation. Please share the screen.
Okay, guys, give me a second. Can you guys see my screen?
Now we can see the screen.
Just give me. So sorry, that was an interruption for probably 30 seconds. Can you see the screen now?
Now we can see the screen and we see you.
Sorry once again. So basically today I'm going to talk how the IT service industry has changed in the past couple of years, especially in the previous 2 or 3 years since we had the change with the corona and everything. We started our journey with JS Guru in 2015, and a couple of things have changed for sure. But before we go to presentation and topics of today, I want to present myself, of course. My name is Srđan, as Adi mentioned, and I'm the CMO and co-founder of JS Guru. I was a guy who was always good with PCs, a gamer, and I was always assembling PCs and that kind of stuff. And after I watched an iPhone keynote and Steve Jobs presenting with his charisma and enthusiasm a new iPhone, I got intrigued by software experience, user experience and software. So that's how I got involved. And when I was studying economics here in Banja Luka, and then I was always interested in marketing. And Andrew and Vlad founded the company, and they were like, hey, you're good with technology, you like PCs and everything, you like user experience. So why don't you join us? And then that's when we kickstarted our journey. But also, I need to give a little bit of intro about JS Guru. Put simply here, we build digital products by providing product discovery, UX, UI design, and software development services. This simple sentence, basically, it's good to use a simple sentence to describe sometimes the work we do. Right now, we have more than 80 people in the company. We are working mostly with startups, but also with a few corporations. For example, previously we worked with German telecom, Deutsche Telekom, and right now we're in the process of working with Naftna Industrija Srbije. So mix of both, but still we like to work with startups and on disruptive ideas. And that's what moves us forward. So for our keynote today, we're gonna talk a little bit about competition, how that changed in the last couple of years, especially with remote becoming more popular and everything. We're gonna talk about how much more people are interesting, of course, to work in the IT industry because of many reasons. How working in the IT industry means working with young people, right? And that comes with some disadvantages and advantages. We're gonna also talk about how experienced engineers here in Bosnia and Herzegovina are used to a little bit to more corporate workflow, because they are used to building some softwares that are really complicated and made for a corporate world, but that's changing a little bit with the whole startup game, right? And we need to become a little bit better in design. That's one of the topics, because good design sells, and that's gonna definitely help us be more competitive in the whole market, right? And I have one bonus thing that came to my mind after I sent the presentation to you, Eddie, and I'm going to mention it lastly as a surprise, I guess. So for the first major thing that changed, right, as our region became really good talent, considered as a really good talent pool for Western companies. So we have European major centers as startup centers as London, Berlin, Stockholm, and they are they started with the remote with the COVID-19 and remote becoming more popular. They're expanding their boundaries, right? And they started hiring basically with the same contracts and same benefits as if they were hiring their own countries. And we can say that companies like ours, service companies, have to focus on culture and that kind of fields to improve their competitiveness, but this is something that definitely cannot be ignored. So the region is becoming more popular with those kind of companies, and they're definitely complicating things a little bit for us here. Also, what's interesting, what happened like 2 or 3 years ago, you had companies that are located in Bosnia or Serbia. They had 1 or 2 offices in the country, so one or 2 cities. Right now, we're seeing companies, for example, in Bosnia, opening their offices in Sarajevo, Banja Luka, Mostar, Zenica. So 3 or 4 offices per country, and that's also the thing that changed, right? Other thing that comes with disadvantages and advantages is that almost everyone wants to work in IT. So people that are not educated for IT didn't prepare themselves for IT, they want to step in because of many reasons. They are motivated by the prospect of earning quick money. And that's good because we have a bigger talent pool to choose from and that's also that's really nice. But also you have to filter out a lot of people that are coming in for the wrong reasons. And good talent can be really hard to spot on early. So you have to stick with it. You have to be you have to be patient, right? The third thing is that working in IT means working with young people. This also comes with advantages and disadvantages. Young people bring good energy and everything, but often mood changes are something you have to be prepared to, right? So this puts a lot of stress on your HR department, and that you need to be patient in a way to have people emotionally get mature. And when you say working with young people means that our country doesn't have a big percentage of senior talent, and IT companies have to take the burden of to themselves to create that kind of senior talent, and that can be really hard. Why? Because senior talent, of course, takes time, and you need to have a long-term perspective for those people, so you don't have foreign companies and other things disrupting that process. So you need to really focus and work with them on keeping them at bay. What else is that more experienced engineers are used to here in our country? More experienced engineers are used to more corporate workflow, meaning that dynamic environment is not good for them. And sometimes when they work with startups, it can seem a little bit hectic to them, right? But even though that's the way the startup world moves. So they're used to more certainty and stability. And sometimes you need to have patience to show them, and not only patience, but before the process even starts, you need to show them like, this is the way the things should work, and it's perfectly normal until a certain point that things seem a little bit more hectic. So, but also when we talk about this topic, companies need to be sure that dynamic workflow is not for everyone. So you need to pick your developers, let's say, carefully. One also thing that is really that I'm noticing when I do my research and everything, some countries are becoming really good at the design, and in our line of business, design is selling. So it's like when you have a beautiful car, it doesn't matter if the car is technically perfect, but if it's ugly, definitely the sales numbers are going to get hit. So when you build software for majority of startups, it's really important that you're good at design. And some countries like Ukraine are getting amazing at it, and they're getting recognized for the amazing design. So when we have startups, companies that want to build something, they go automatically to Ukraine because they're well known for their good design. The solution for these things is not simple, of course. We don't have a magic wand to wave around and say like we're gonna fix some of these. In previous talks, your speakers mentioned a couple of them, and solving problems can be really difficult, and we need to go really a while back and then try to solve them. So the solution is it really comes to a lot to your HR department, where they need to work with your people on filtering out the right people, building a long-term perspective for everyone in the company. So, for example, in JS Guru, when someone comes in after a few months, we sit down with them and we say, hey, where do you wanna be in a couple of years? How that aligns with our goals, and people have a clear path of their progress in the future. The other thing is that you need to be, as a company, you need to be ready to create senior talent, right? You need to be willing to dedicate resources and time to do this, and this can take a lot of time. This is not simple at all, and like I said, you need to intertwine the long-term perspective with this component of creating senior talent. And the other thing I mentioned here, obviously, is the last point I mentioned, is getting better at design. And if we have one advantage as a country where we become well known for a certain thing, that's going to help us immensely. In the previous keynotes, there was also a good keynote from ZenDev, Senad Shantić, that told increasing country competitiveness. So we need to become good at a certain thing. It doesn't matter if it's design, if it's AI, if it's blockchain or some other thing. If we do it properly, that's going to help us a lot. And we're definitely looking at a point where there's a lot of service companies right now, but they're gonna switch to we're gonna switch to a product-based model, and that's gonna give us even more energy and resources to battle with all the changes that market is bringing, right? So basically that's it, but I promised one bonus thing that I promised to mention, and that was culturally. Many people working in IT, they are looking at those, let's say, sexy things right now. Profit sharing, they want the best working environment, all the benefits that come with it, and that's perfectly fine, and that's perfectly great. But in most cases, we're culturally not ready yet also to take the responsibilities and let's say work as much and be prepared to sacrifice as much as those cultures do. So we need to have also certain mind shift when it comes to adjusting and reaping all the benefits, but also giving back. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you for listening, and if you have any questions, I'm here.
Thank you, Srđan. This was really an impressive keynote, and exactly what we as an organization imagined to hear from an IT company perspective today. And I really hope that we will manage to do even bigger and better presentations and promotion of the whole industry and the concept and the game change as such in the months and years to come. Thank you once again.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.